Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well, peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is your brother Dawadah from the Men of Valor campaign, Greenwood, South Carolina, coming back with another video on sincerity and in truth. Lord willing, it could be edifying. And I was just watching this video, man. Hey, man. Hey, this guy, Steph, is cold. All right, it was a story time. I suggest brothers watch this video. He a nigga, but this was very telling. Story time, how a black woman versus a Latina woman wasted my time. The cold truth. And, just to get into the gist of it, he was dealing with, some service industry women, which women, when they're in the service industry, they're in their more natural state of being in servitude, okay, whether they admit it or not. A lot of women dominate these service industry fields, all right? And I'm somebody that's, in the service industry myself and have been always around women. And it's very sexually charged, all right, just to keep it frank. And it's very, you play into those roles. So he was a customer, and I guess there was a couple occasions where he, was getting some wings, and he's, in Houston. It's a heavy Jake presence over there and whatnot. So he was dealing with, the B-Dub, man. And then you also had a Northern Kingdom chick. So apparently on one occasion, he tipped the Northern Kingdom chick $30 or something. And then on another occasion, he tipped the Jake chick, the Southern Kingdom chick, like $20 or something. Still both decent tips. All right, don't get me wrong. $20, $30, because Jake don't be tipping like that. But those are decent tips. And apparently the Judite chick hit him up and DM'd him or some shit and was like, basically like, you only gave me like $20 or something, or you gave the other girl more. All right, instead of being grateful for what she did receive, she's comparing, and also just not even showing gratitude, and also not doing anything to set herself apart. All right, and he started going into the fact that, the black woman, and this, man, if Jake in the world is seeing it, these nations are seeing it, everybody's seeing it. All right, black women feel like they're so attacked. They feel like they're so, everybody's against them. But look how you act, man. All right, yeah, there's always outliers. There's sisters that know how to move with some decorum, that have some respect. All right, but for the most part, most of these women out here, these black women, are not, respectable in any way, shape, or form. All right, they think that somebody owes them something. They feel they play the victim, and this just further proves, all right, this is what this video is about. This just further confirms what our elders and apostles have been saying. This ain't gonna be a long video. This wasn't supposed to be long or anything. But this just confirms what, start with Elder Apostle Dahar has been saying for a few years now. And contrary to what these other camps be talking about, you can't get with the women of the other nations and yada yada. Well, the women of our nation are the worst women you can deal with, man, on the planet for the Israelite man. We're not in our sovereignty right now. We're not in a space where we just got buku money and shit. Even the Jakes that do got money, they're still dealing with bullshit. I saw what was it, PJ Washington? All right, PJ Washington was getting into it with Brittany Renner, where she just a Muslim? Wasn't she acting like she was God-fearing Muslim, covered up? And guess what? She giving this man hell about something about her, her son only having $11,000 in his account, but meanwhile he's not married with another chick and got another baby and shit, but he still, I guess, he's paying child support for his other, child or whatnot. And she, fought for that child support. She fought for that, but she's, comparing. Not great for $11,000 for a young child is a lie. That's enough to get what you need. All right, but that just shows you the so-called black woman is insatiable. All right, look that word up. You can't satisfy their ass, man. All right, and it just further proves what our apostles and elders have been saying, and the spirit been on them to say, hey, get you a bunny. If you do want to deal with a woman, all right, because some brothers spirit like, look, man, I'm not fucking with these women, which is cool. All right, because right now this is just across the board, heathen, Israelite women, all the women, they're all fucked up off just, after America's philosophies. They all feel like they big shit popping. They all feel like, the men is supposed to serve them. However, all right, the women of the other nations, they come with a different spirit, man. They come with a different spirit. Even the American ones are more in a servitude role, and they've been wanting to get with Jake, man. And we see that the Lord is putting the curses on our enemies. We seeing that these heathen women are desiring us, man. These Asian women are desiring us. These white women, so-called white women, are desiring the Israelite men, because their men can't satisfy them. All right, the Lord is putting the curses on our enemies, but the so-called black woman just think we supposed to just continue to get disrespected, verbally, physically, just berated, and think we supposed to stick with them. Hell no, man. Hell no. And now I just wanted to bring this video out because, this guy Steph is cold, who's somebody, he be in the gym, he be, speaking about dating advice and shit from men getting their shit together, being cold. And even he still deals with bullshit. So it's not just us. It's not just the prophets. It's not just because we bums and we ain't got no job and we don't get, we don't line our hair up. Well, it's happening to the guys that's supposed to be having what they call motion in the world, man. Right. So what's the deal? Who's the issue? Is everybody else the issue, or is the issue the women of our nation? It's definitely the women of our nation, and that's why the Lord said, rise up, you women that are at ease. You've been at ease. You've been catered to. You've been coddled for many years and decades now. And now, DEI, whatever has ended. Your food stamps are getting hit. Your Section 8 is being cut off. And guess what? You still got this badass attitude toward men. And of course, that does go back to the curses. It does. Because you didn't have a father in the house to respect. And you didn't see your mother respect any men. But there are respectable so-called black men out here. Mainly of the men of the Lord. So what's your excuse? Brothers ain't out here trying to just saying, we ain't out here just trying to say fuck the so-called black woman, but we ain't about to sit here and tolerate no fucking bullshit, man. We as men are moving in sovereignty. We not moving with the bullshit. And these heathen women are stepping more into being a woman. They know how to be women. The so-called black woman, for the most part, don't know how to be a woman. The so-called Latina woman, she just as damn proud, man. That's why there's going to be a lot of rejection coming, man. That's why the Spirit's been on Apostle the hard stuff to speak about. Isaiah 4:1 does apply to these heathen women. No, they can't be saved. If they are heathens, if they're speckled birds, if they're Israelite foreigners, then yeah, they can be delivered. But if they're natural heathens, no, they can't be delivered. However, they're still going to try to cleave to a man. They're still women. And then that day is going to be about what can you do for us? How can you add to us? Not what can we do to you? What can we give you? Every time you turn around, you talk to a so-called black woman, she got her fucking hand out, thinking you owe her ass something. Where's the gratitude? Where's the thank? I'll be around these heathen women, and they actually show some gratitude, man. You keep a conversation with them and stuff. So Eve is just through, man. Eve losing. Eve and Maria, man. They all through as hell. And we see the Lord is shifting, that spirit in the earth, man. You got even the Jakes in the world are done with the so-called black woman, man. And I know this isn't necessarily the most edifying of videos, not deep, but it's real life. It's something that we deal with. It's something that we observe, and we can filter it through the scriptures. And I'm going to bring this scripture out right quick. Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. Surely the Lord power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. The Lord always going to give his men the scoop first and foremost, man. And I brought this out once again to back up the point that I said that, Elder Apostle Hart, he been saying, get you a bunny. Get you a snow bunny, get you a rice bunny. From my experiences, since taking that advice, they're easier to deal with. All right, now, this ain't all about being with women right now, man. I'm just keep it real. But we're men. We do like the company of a woman. All right. The Lord said it's not good for man to be alone, to have a helpmeet. And that's the point, a helpmeet. Somebody that's going to help that man, not cause that man stress. You go into Sirach, the 25th and 26th chapter, it speaks about, the difference between a God-fearing woman, a loving woman, a silent woman and a woman that's combative, a woman that's a whore, a woman that's a gatherer broad, a woman that's a drunkard. It speaks about that contrast. It didn't do it for a reason. It was so that it could be applied. It's so that knowledge could be applied, man. And right now we're in the belly of the beast. We're dealing with the worst crop of women to ever graze the earth, man. They have all this liberty. They have all this. They got social media. All right, they can access damn near any men in any type of tax bracket just for showing they pussy and ass on camera, man. But the Lord puts his men on game. All right, now these men in the world are starting to pick up on leaving Keisha's ass alone. And that's the point of the video. So Lord willing, is edifying, only give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Makahakudash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Till next time.